Hello, how's it going? Hello there. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Sometimes I forget what day of the week it is. And I am so excited to be here. My name is Kendra Perry, if you're not familiar with me, and I am an online business mentor for coaches who are working in the health and wellness and personal development space. And my mission is to help you get your business off the ground, running, working for you, and help you start consistently generating $5,000 per month to start plus. So that's always where we want to start. I know there's a lot of coaches out there who are talking about six figures and these five-figure months, and that's great. And that's a great thing to shoot for. But when you're barely making like 2K or 3K a month, that can seem really far out of your reach and like something that's not even possible. So I always start with 5K months because the truth is that might be all you want. Not everyone wants to build a six-figure business, and that is totally cool. And some people are happy making 60 to 80 grand a year. And again, that's totally cool. 5K a month is a very respectable income. And if that's all you want, I'm not here to tell you that you should be shooting for anything else. Cool. So I do these live videos every single, I believe it's the last Thursday of the month. But typically I do 3 videos pre-recorded to my YouTube channel. And then the fourth one is always a live video. So I do these once a month. So they're always fun for me. And if you want to tune in, ask me questions, engage with me, I welcome you to show up. Okay, so guys, if you are an online coach, health coach, wellness coach, life coach, personal development coach, and you really want to blow up your business and get to those consistent 5K months and then scale to more than that, 10K plus, make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can just hit that little subscribe button below this video because I post videos every single Thursday. Okay, so today what we're going to be talking about are some of the biggest mistakes that new coaches make online when they are starting their business. And if you are doing any of these 5 things, you're going to be stuck and you're not going to get the results that you want. And to this day, like I talk to hundreds, probably 1,000 coaches at this point. I've coached a ton of people. I have a lot of students in my programs. And to this day, no one's ever come to me who is struggling to get clients and isn't making the money and is just the business isn't working for them. Those people always are making at least one of these mistakes, but typically a lot more. So that is what we're going to go through today. I'm just going to raise my desk because I like to stand. I meant to do that beforehand. Sitting, not always my favorite thing. All right. I got a little balance board that I like to stand on. Anyways, guys, if you're here with me right now, there's a few of you on right now. Let me know you're here. Say hi. If you have any questions as we go through this today, I'm happy to answer them. Okay, so we're going to go through 5 big mistakes that typically health coaches make, especially when they're new in the first few years of business. So the first one's a big thing. I'm a bit of a broken record about this. I talk about this a lot, but the reason I talk about it so much is because it's critical. It's the first crossroads you're going to come to early on in your business. And if you choose the right path, you're going to be setting yourself up right. You're going to be building that solid business foundation. But if you choose the other path, then it's going to be struggle town. Okay, so mistake number 1 is not being specific enough with who you are talking to. So not choosing a very clear and specific niche if you're in the US. I'm Canadian, I say niche. And basically what a niche is, if this is all new to you, is basically it's a segment of the market, right? Because when we're in online business, the market technically is everyone who's online, which is billions of people. And we can't talk to all of them because they're all different people who have different problems. So we really need to target a subset of the market. We've got Dr. Herman on, who I believe you are in my HTMA class. Welcome from South Africa. I don't know what time it is there. I feel like it might be a crazy time for you, but maybe it's not. Okay. Or it might be evening for you, because I know when I did the webinar with you guys, it was like 7 a.m. for me, and it was probably not that late for you. So I think it's actually, we're good here. Okay. So you got to be totally specific and clear with who you're talking to. It should be so clear that people don't ask you questions after it. Like if you say, oh, this is what I do, and people are like, so, does this mean this? And does that mean that? And they start asking all these questions and they don't really seem to get it. Okay, so 7 o'clock, not too bad. Then that's an issue, right? That means that it's not clear. you want it to be clear to a third grader. Like you want it to be so obvious and so clear that when you say that, people are like, oh, that's cool. Instead of like, so does that mean this? And what does that mean? And so what do you actually do? You want it to be uber clear, and you want to be able to say it in 10 seconds or less. You don't want to be going on this rambling path of like, yeah, like I help this type of person and this and blah, 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 and just going on and on and on, because what that tells you is that it is not clear enough. Okay. So it needs to be really specific, but it also needs to be described in their own words. So you really want to get on the same level of who you are talking to, right? You don't want to be using technical or what I call nutritionist language. And what that means is, saying stuff like, I help people with like leaky gut, for example. As health coaches, health practitioners, doctors, we know what leaky gut is. But our clients haven't taken the training we have. They don't know what that is. They're like, leaky gut, that sounds gross. I actually have gas. And they don't realize that gas can be a result of something like leaky gut. Another example would be something like inflammation. We know what inflammation is. We know how it manifests, but they're just like, no, I just got joint pain, or I'm just bloated and distended, whatever it is, right? So we really got to hit them with where they are at, right? We got to... no, this is a good example. No one is lying awake in bed at night being like, oh, I just got to get rid of my leaky gut. Like, no, they're not saying that. They're not thinking that. They're thinking like, man, I'm so sick of this indigestion, or I'm so sick of this chronic diarrhea, or whatever it is, right? Like they're thinking in terms of like the actual experience that they are having. So you really need to get on their own page. Okay. And this is where market research is really important. So for example, if you're thinking like, okay, I want to help people with indigestion, go interview people with indigestion. You're not trying to sell to them. You don't have ulterior motives. Like you're just trying to have a conversation with them to see how they actually describe the problem that they have. So you don't want to be using vague terms. An example of this would be, so they can live their best life. No one is ever like, I just want to live my best life, or, I'm trying to think of another. There's so many good ones out there. I'm drawing a blank right now, but a few will come to me. You don't want to say things like, take your health to the next level, be the best versions of themselves, optimize diet, nutrition, like eat a healthy diet. Like these aren't things that people really want, right? So people have specific issues, right? And people are only going to pay to get help to get them out of pain and suffering, right? So it's got to be a big problem. Sure, you can help people eat a healthier diet. People will pay for it, but they will not pay much for it. What they will pay more money for and be more committed to actually changing is something like chronic joint pain, or chronic diarrhea, anxiety, fatigue, brain fog, insomnia, things that are literally interfering with their lives and reducing the quality of their lives. So it just needs to be a big pain point, right? And when you come up with your niche statement, it's going to look something like, I help this type of person with this type of problem get this type of result. So it might be, I help new moms with debilitating anxiety, reverse their anxiety so they can feel calm, confident, and whatever, right? So that's sort of the overall niche statement, and it's very specific, right? I could say that and you're like, oh yeah, you help new moms with anxiety, you get rid of their anxiety so they feel better, or whatever, right? So that's kind of what I mean by that. Dr. Herman has a really great question. Is autoimmune disease too broad? Yes, it is. Because there's a lot of different autoimmune diseases, right? And we know that underneath an autoimmune condition is kind of the same process in the body. It's that overactivity of the immune system, inflammation, all those things. But people don't connect with autoimmune condition. They actually connect with their specific autoimmune condition, right? And this is the huge disservice that sort of the traditional medical paradigm has done to people, because they classify all these diseases as different based on their unique symptom presentations. And really, it's the same sort of underlying issue. But the problem is our clients are living within this conventional medical paradigm. So we have to kind of meet them where they're at within that medical paradigm. So we know that whether we have someone with Hashimoto's or rheumatoid arthritis or celiac or whatever, like we're probably going to do similar things to them. We're going to, maybe run some tests, maybe not, but we're going to implement like diet, lifestyle, all that sort of stuff. Like the way that we get them there is going to be really similar. But if we want to attract them, we got to attract them with where they're at. So I would recommend that you get more specific with what type of autoimmune disease you're working with, Hashimoto's, rheumatoid arthritis, alopecia, whatever, because then you can really get on their level, because obviously someone with Hashimoto's is experiencing very different symptoms and different pain points as someone with rheumatoid arthritis, right? So if, like, let's just use rheumatoid arthritis as an example. Like, you can really dive into like how they're actually feeling, like their swollen joints and not being able to have good use of their hands. Like maybe they really want to like be a rock climber and they can't because of their swollen hands. Like all these things, like you want to be able to connect with them on their level. Otherwise it's too broad. Because the truth is, if I have something like Hashimoto's, and you're out there being like, I help people with autoimmune conditions, and then someone else is like, I help women in their 30s reverse their Hashimoto's, I'm going to that other person, right? Because I'm like, yeah, that autoimmune, like, sure, but like that woman helps people with my exact condition, and that's how people are going to choose, because they are within this medical paradigm that separates everything, that considers all these conditions separate. They haven't had the training we do where we see the holistic sort of bigger picture and kind of root cause perspective. So I hope that makes sense. So it's got to be very specific. So that's number one. Number two is, in terms of mistakes, is sounding like a textbook when you show up online. Don't be Wikipedia. Okay. If people wanted Wikipedia, they would just go to Wikipedia, right? If people wanted a textbook explanation of something, they would, read a friggin' textbook, right? Like people, like that's boring to people, right? People want to have fun and they want to learn in a way that is different, right? So really what they want is to be able to connect with the people who they are learning from. They want real and they want authentic, right? So when it comes to what we're teaching online and how we're connecting with people, we have to bring our unique personality and unique flair to that information, right? So obviously the content we provide needs to be good, but we also need to not be afraid to be someone that we're not. So I'm going to use an example of myself. I've told this story a few times, but back when I first started out as a health coach, this was back in like 2013, I was really obsessed with being professional online. And if you know me in person, I swear, I'm kind of crass, I'm really blunt. I'm very honest. Like that's sort of my personality. That's who I am. But I felt like online, I was like, oh, I need to be super professional. I need to prove how much I know. And so I was very, I guess, stoic and kind of boring. And I used very specific language. And to be honest, I found it quite exhausting because it really wasn't me. And so, I started kind of learning more about marketing and what people actually want from us, which is to connect. People really, truly just want to connect. And that is true for the online world, right? So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to show up as who I am. I'm going to drop an F-bomb if that's what comes out of my mouth. I'm going to make my weird jokes, kind of just be a little bit more of who I am. And that worked a lot better for me, right? And I know people really, obviously they like my information, but typically people follow me because they resonate with me on some level. They just, they like my style, whatever that is. And that's really cool because that is what's going to make you stand out online. And that's what's going to just kind of wipe out competition, because the truth is there's only one you. No one else is you. So you're not really competing with anyone else online because people just naturally gravitate to who they connect with and who they resonate the most with. And not everyone is going to resonate with you or me, and that's totally okay. I know some people, I swear, and they're like, whoa, this chick is unprofessional. I don't like her, whatever. Just the other day, I had someone comment on my YouTube video and was like, I was with you until you dropped an F-bomb, keep it classy. And I was like, well, I'm not really a classy chick, so clearly I'm not your person. I don't think I even responded to that comment, but I'm not offended by that, because if this person truly hung out with me, they probably wouldn't like me. So best for them to go find someone who they actually connect with. And it's clearly not me, and it's okay. So screw being professional, be yourself. And it's really interesting, but building a business is so much of actually figuring out who you truly are. It's a really big lesson in personal development. And I've actually grown so much and learned so much about myself and gained so much confidence in building an online business, because it really does teach you so much about yourself. It also triggers you, and you learn a lot about your insecurities and how to move through them. So if you are confused about who you are, that's where you need to start. A really good exercise you can do is go ask some people who are close to you to describe you in 5 words, or why are they friends with you? Why do they hang out with you? Do some journaling, learn a little bit more about who you are, be a little bit more aware and conscious of how you show up in person with friends. Like, how do you talk? That's how you should talk online. Like, there shouldn't be a disconnect. A really great compliment you can get if people actually meet you in person and they're like, wow, you're exactly like I imagined you. You're exactly like I thought you were online. So good thing. Okay. Guys, let me know if you have questions. So there are a few of you on right now, which is awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Just say hey, or let me know if you have questions in the comments. The next one is a big one. And this is true for a lot of new practitioners. This is down to selling one-off appointments or one-off sessions, meaning that you are trading time for money. People purchase an individual session from you and they pay you an hourly rate. Now, the reason why a lot of practitioners do this is because typically that's the only business model we're familiar with, right? We've seen naturopathic doctors or physiotherapists, massage therapists, and that's how it works, right? Or maybe in the schooling that you did, health coach schooling, whatever, that was the business model that they taught you. But I hate this business model. I think it's a recipe for burnout, and also possibly being really broke. And if you're not broke, you're probably burnt out, right? We know that we cannot change someone's life and help them transform in an hour. It doesn't work like that. Like, we're always going to want to work with people for multiple sessions, right? Because there's a lot of stuff we need to talk about, need to teach them, and need to help them work through. But when you have someone purchase a single session, you get zero commitment from them. So they may only see you for one session and you might not see them again, or maybe they're going to book months in advance. And the problem with that is when you work with that business model, you are in a constant stage of needing to find new clients. Now, this can work for certain professionals. For example, a massage therapist. It's probably different in your country, but in Canada, we have registered massage therapists or RMTs, and people who have extended health benefits can get those appointments for free. So I will always choose an RMT because I have benefits, right? So I can get a free massage. And so I'm always going to choose that first before paying for it. So a lot of RMTs in my town, for example, they can just set up practice and expect to get busy within a year because people will naturally go to them, right? And so they will sort of naturally be able to build a practice. The same is true for naturopathic doctors. But if you are unlicensed, for example, or you don't want to run a business model like that, it doesn't really work. And the truth is, like, we get into these health and wellness industry because we want to help people, right? We want to see people make that transformation. And so we need people's commitment, and we need more than one session. And it's pretty unsatisfying when you just have single sessions with people and you don't get to see them transform. Okay. And then you're in this constant state of having to find new clients. And guys, when you can't rely on being licensed, or, building a practice in that way, you need a lot of time for marketing. And I really don't believe you should be working with clients more than 2 or 3 times a week. But if you're selling single sessions, I mean, it just doesn't work, and it's going to be really hard to get to that 5K. So I recommend selling a signature program. Now, I've made several YouTube videos on this. Just look through my channel if you want more information on this. But signature program is basically a program in which your business is known for. It is designed specifically for your ideal client. And everyone who you work with goes through this program. So for example, if we use an example of you help women with anxiety, you're going to have some program that helps women resolve their anxiety. It's going to be a certain time frame. Maybe it's 90 days. Hey, Brandy. And it's going to be, it's going to include some amount of sessions, some amount of support, some amount of accountability. And the promise of the program is for that person to see improvement in their anxiety, right? So you will get less clients this way, right? You're going to get more no's, but the people who do say yes to something that is a higher price point are going to be more committed to actually moving through that process with you and getting the results. And when people get results, they give you testimonials, and that will help you build your business. So that's why building a signature program is really important. Again, I have several videos on this on my YouTube channel. So just if you go into the video section, just look for signature program. I made one on it, but this is something I teach inside Health Coach Accelerator, which is my signature program. It's a whole module. And right now I am just sort of updating it, and we're going to be relaunching it this fall. So probably in October. So you can stay tuned for that. Okay. Next big mistake: running ads or paid advertising too quickly and believing that it's going to fix your lack of leads and your lack of customers. Okay. So I am a big fan of paid traffic and paid ads, and I use this in my practice, but it is not where you should start. Okay. Especially when you're new and starting out. In order for ads to be successful, you need to know who you're talking to, and you need to have that signature program, and you need to have the process. I really believe that you should prove something organically before you put paid advertisements behind it. Okay. The reason for this is if something doesn't work, driving more traffic to it isn't going to make it work, right? You need to make it work first. And when you make it work, when you know it works, you've proven that it works, that is a great time to put ads behind it. So I see a lot of coaches running ads way too early on, and it's not going to fix a lack of sales or a lack of signups to your email list, right? So it's really important to see some success in getting people to opt in for your email list before putting advertisements behind it, right? And I see this a lot, that people just think, well, I'll just, it's not working. I'm not getting leads. I need to just start paying for traffic and that's going to fix it. That can actually be a huge suck of your money. It can lead to a lot of money just going out the window, because ads are really expensive. They're also complicated. And you have to be willing to spend a decent amount of money in order to see success with ads. So yes, ads are good, but when do you start running ads? So when you have an email funnel that works, that means that you attract people from social media, they opt in for your freebie, they go through your onboarding email sequence, and then people purchase at the end. So they sign up for your complimentary call and become clients. Once that happens enough time, then you know that funnel works and you can start putting traffic, paid traffic behind it. Okay, so the fifth biggest mistake that new coaches make is being cheap with their business. Now, this is a big one, okay? A lot of people believe, so the great thing about online business and an online coaching business is you don't need a lot of capital to start it up, right? And that makes it very accessible to a lot of people, and that's why I love it. So personally, I think I had $300 in the bank. I think I was in debt, actually. I think my credit card was racked up. Like when I started my health coaching business in 2013, like I had no money. And I was able to do that. And you can start a business for virtually nothing. You don't need to spend too much, but if you aren't willing to invest in your business financially, it will not grow. Okay. If you are cheap with your business, like you're just going to be stuck. Like you should not be trying to run your business for free and with free platforms and free subscriptions. Like for example, if I were to start a restaurant or a retail store, I would never just go in thinking I didn't need to spend in money. I would come up with a fair amount of capital to invest, and I would get funding. I think you should do the same thing for an online business. Like it would be great if you could get access to maybe $5,000 initially so you could invest in a mentor or some sort of educational course, and then have some money to invest in the things you actually need. Now, I love running a lean business, which means I'm only spending money on what I absolutely need to be spending money on and what I know is actually moving my mission forward. But I don't think you should ever be cheap, okay? If you are cheap with your business, like you're just not going to get anywhere. You have to water the business. You have to water the plant for it to grow. So if you're trying to do everything for free, past the first few months, like it's going to show in the amount of clients you're going to be able to attract. So the things that you do need to invest in when you're a new business owner, first and foremost, is email marketing software. You are going to have to pay for email marketing software. The most important thing in an online business is a robust email list. My recommendation is ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign. Those are the two that I like because they will allow you to do all the things you want to do in the future. I don't recommend starting with something like MailChimp. A lot of people go for MailChimp because there's a free option, but it is very limited in its functionality. And at some point you're going to want to move over, and that's a huge pain in the ass. Plus they have terrible customer service, and at some point you end up paying just as much as other email providers, but you have less functionality. So email marketing software is a must. Client management software is a must. I recommend Practitioner. It actually brings together a lot of the platforms that you would need to bootstrap into one. So it will store all your client information. It'll allow you to invoice, set up payment plans, charge people's credit cards, share documents. It has a scheduler, so set up appointments, that sort of thing. So I highly recommend Practitioner. You're going to need some sort of storage. Like, please do not put everything on a physical hard drive. Put it in the cloud. Google Drive is great. It's free for the first, I think, tetrabyte, TG, whatever that stands for. So you get a ton of free storage, or some, I might be wrong on that, but you get a lot of free before they start charging you. Canva, which is your graphic design software. You will need Canva. You will need a paid account. You will get access to so many templates. It's super easy to use, and this will be how you make all your graphics. You'll need to invest in a Zoom account. Now, Zoom, as far as I know, you can get a free account if you're only meeting with one other person, and you get unlimited meetings. But if you want to get more than one person on the meeting, you are going to have to upgrade and get the basic account. I believe it's like $14 or $15, so it's not too much. And then you're going to need Stripe, and that's just how you're going to do your payments. Yes, you are going to get a fee for payments, but it is the cost of doing business. Yes, you can find other payment services that don't charge you a percentage and charge you a flat fee, but they will not integrate with everything. And so if you do want to do things like group programs, online courses, workshops, that sort of thing, you want something that integrates, and you want something that's going to accept all types of payments. Okay. So when you are new, if you are struggling in business, the best thing you can do is take an online course that teaches you how to build your business, like my upcoming Health Coach Accelerator program, or hire a mentor to help you, because this is an entirely different language. It's really complicated. It's really hard to figure out, and you will delay your success if you try to do it on your own. That is my one regret early on in my business, is I tried to DIY it for so long. As soon as I hired a coach, things took off for me within 6 months. Like, it happened really quickly once I invested in that help. And yes, it was scary. It was a big investment. It was, at the time, it felt completely crazy, but I do not regret it. It helped me get things moving, and I was able to start hitting 10K months very, very quickly after I hired a mentor. Okay, so a mentor is great. If you have less money to spend, do a group program, do an online course, but get the help, because you're going to pull your hair out. It's like, there's so much that goes into online business. Like, you need people to mentor, you need someone to help. Okay, guys, so those are the 5 mistakes. Let's just quickly recap those before we log off today. So number 1 is not being specific enough with your niche, with your ideal client. The goal is to be super clear, so clear that you can say it to a 3rd grader and they understand exactly what you're talking about. Number 2 is sounding like a textbook. People don't want you to just be an embodiment version of Wikipedia. They want your personality. They want your unique flair. So learn your voice, learn your personality, and bring that into your online communication with your audience. Number 3 is selling single sessions. Fast track to burnout, probably fast track to being broke. You want to sell a signature program. Again, I have a YouTube video on this, and this is something I teach. Well, I teach all these things inside my program, Health Coach Accelerator. Number 4 is thinking ads are going to fix your situation. Ads are great, but they are not where you should start. Before you run ads, you want to prove that what you want to run ads to works organically. So for example, with my course that teaches practitioners how to interpret hair tissue mineral analysis, I launched that organically 5 times and saw great results before I put it on an evergreen funnel and started running ads to it. Okay. And then finally, big one for a lot of you guys out there is being cheap with your business and not investing. If you don't water the plant, it will not grow. If you do not invest financially in your business, you're going to be stuck, right? So hire a mentor or take a course and make sure to invest in those platforms that I mentioned. Okay. Guys, thank you so much. If you love this video, you want more videos like this, you want to blow up your coaching business in 2020 and beyond, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that little bell next to the subscription, because I post videos every Thursday that will notify you. And if you are watching this before middle of October-ish, you can hop on the wait list for the upcoming Health Coach Accelerator group program that is linked below this video. And if you are watching this later down the road, the course will be open for enrollment. So you can click that same link and check out the details of that program. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I love yous. And if you're watching the replay, you can drop your questions in the comments. I do come back and check comments and I do answer them. Have a fantastic day and a fantastic weekend. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.